Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday Preview. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Sunday Preview. The War of Rohirrim is upon us. Light the beacons, sound the horn, take up your swords. The new edition of Middle-earth strategy battle game is on the way. And leading the charge is a huge starter box packed with new plastic miniatures. On top of that, we've got some extra kits and some long-awaited hill trolls as an additional release next week. So there is a little video right here, but we're going to take a look at the full article. Middle-earth strategy battle game. The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. Battle of Edoras. Alright, so we got the new box set with some beautiful new box art on this. And here we can see all of the contents. Let's take a closer look. The new edition of Middle-earth strategy battle game is available for pre-order next week. The game has been redesigned with loads of smart changes for a new era of epic battling. So what better way to get stuck in than with this massive starter set? The Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. Battle of Edoras contains 56 plastic miniatures and 2 Rohan houses, alongside a full 176-page rules manual, a 48-page scenario and profiles booklet, double-sided 3x3 playmat, 2 reference guides, a range ruler, and 12 dice. The forces of good are led by Haleth and Hama, Princess of Rohan, both mounted and on foot, alongside 24 noble Rohan Warriors. Evil is led by the Wolf High Lord of the Hill Tribes and General Targ, both on foot and mounted alongside 24 barbaric Hill Tribesmen. With the full rules in hand and a booklet with 4 linked introductory scenarios, you'll be able to learn how to play the game with just the contents of the box before taking a step into the full experience. So here we can see both the mounted and foot heroes and then the mounted and foot villains as well. So very cool. You're going to have different options to play them mounted or on foot for the various scenarios. Then we have the Middle-earth strategy battle game rules manual. This is a totally new edition of the game with a weighty 176-page hardcover rules manual to match. This tome features an introduction to the game and all the rules that underpin it. On top of the core rules, you'll find detailed information on unit types such as cavalry, heroes, monsters, and war beasts, alongside weapons, war gear, and magic. There are 44 special rules for individual units and sections on advanced rules to add extra depth to your games. Rules for sieges allow for breathtaking assaults supported by siege engines, so you can recreate some of the most cinematic moments in the movies. A section on match play provides information on how to build competitive armies and 6 scenarios to play out, while the narrative play primer gives you even more options to explore Middle-earth. This manual will be available for pre-order in both hardback and ebook formats. And then we have Armies of the Lord of the Rings, the Armies of the Hobbit. So we have Armies of the Lord of the Rings and then Armies of the Hobbit, 2 separate books available as well. To play full games of Middle-earth strategy battle game, you'll need profiles for your heroes and units. You'll find them in this 240-page Armies of the Lord of the Rings and 160-page Armies of the Hobbit gaming supplements. Armies of the Lord of the Rings contains over 150 profiles for heroes, villains, monsters, and warriors. There are 27 good army lists for the realms of Rohan, Gondor, Rivendell, and beyond, and 19 evil army lists for the fell hands of Mordor, Isengard, Moria, and more. Armies of the Hobbit features over 120 profiles, 15 good army lists representing the likes of Erebor, Mirkwood, Laketown, and more, and 7 evil army lists for Gundabad, Goblin Town, Dol Guldur, and other dark places. You'll need a copy of the Middle-earth strategy battle game to use these books, which will be available for pre-order in hardback and ebook formats. And then we have Helm Hammerhand, Wraith of the Hornburg. So pretty cool new model right here. Helm Hammerhand is the 9th king of Rohan, a mighty warrior and great leader whose rule has been played by Dundanling raids. A legendary hero, he can be selected for the defenders of Hornburg. He is made from Forgeworld Resin. Alright, so very unfortunate to see the Games Workshop is leaning in on the Forgeworld Resin for the cool new characters. And then we have Freca, Lord of the West March. Freca, Lord of the West March, is unrelenting in his ambition and overwhelming desire to secure the throne of Rohan for his son Wolf. He stoops to underhanded means in an attempt to force the matter. He is a hero of valor, who uses his Dundanling heritage to boost allied Dundanling warriors. He is made from Forgeworld Resin and available for usurpers of Edoras armies. So again, really nice new model. Very unfortunate to see him in Forgeworld Resin, as we know he's going to be pricey and of course made of resin. Now a quick word from today's sponsor, CMO Games. CMO Games carries a full range of Games Workshop products including miniatures, paint, terrain, tools, and more. They take pre-orders for most Games Workshop new releases as early as possible, usually 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. CMO Games offers 15% off of MSRP for most all Games Workshop products and offer fast free shipping to the continental United States on orders over $50. Most orders ship out within 24 hours. You know their customer service is top-notch as they've been selling games online for over 20 years. Use the affiliate link below and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you. And then we have Lord Thorne of the World. Many lords served Rohan under Helm's rule, and Lord Thorne of the World became one of the most trusted advisors. Beneath his noble exterior, however, lies the lust for power. Lord Thorne is a hero of fortitude made from Forgeworld Resin who can be included in usurpers of Edoras armies, giving other traitor Rohirrim an edge in combat. Alright, and then we have the Rohan Warriors. It is the hardy Rohan Warriors who take up the arms and armor to defend Edoras from the wolf's onslaught. They are armed with an assortment of bows, hand weapons, and the spears that they famously hurl into their foes. These warriors are the backbone of many in the army for the forces of good, and the plastic kit contains 24 warriors. Alright, so a nice new plastic kit with 24 warriors and different weapon options. And then we have the Hill Tribesmen. The hills to the west of Rohan are filled with numerous fractured tribes. Over the years, they have developed a hatred for Rohirrim, leading raids against the villages with little success. United behind Wolf, these Hill Tribesmen become a threatening army capable of threatening even Edoras itself. This kit builds 24 plastic Hill Tribesmen, armed with a variety of weapons including spears, two-handed weapons, bows, and hand weapons. Alright, so again, 24 new models with various weapons, and some nice sculpts right here in plastic. And then we have Buhrdûr Hill Troll Chieftain. Especially cunning for a troll, Buhrdûr has gathered a great horde of creatures from the Misty Mountains, and with the rise of the Witch King of Angmar, he now has a new purpose. This Forgeworld Resin miniature is an Angmar hero of valor for use in Buhrdûr's horde armies. He does not have rules in either of the army supplements above and will receive a free downloadable PDF. So again, awesome new model. Very unfortunate to see it in Forgeworld Resin as it's going to be pricey, and then of course in resin as well. Very, very unfortunate for Games Workshop to take this route. And then we have the Hill Trolls of Angmar. Again, really nice new sculpts right here. The Hill Trolls of Angmar are bulky creatures with inhuman strength. They are often brought to sieges where they can smash up doors and walls with brute force. This Forgeworld Resin kit builds 2 Hill Trolls, who can be used in Buhrdûr's Horde and Army of Carndum armies. They do not have rules for either of the army supplements above and will receive a free downloadable PDF. And then we have the Great Eagles of Misty Mountain. The Great Eagles of Middle-earth hold themselves apart from the world below, soaring high in the sky, observing all that goes on beneath. In times of need, they will not hesitate to help the free peoples, soaring down to attack their enemies with beaks and claws alike. These plastic miniatures are being re-released with new bases for the new edition, and can be fielded as both Great Eagles and the new fledgling Great Eagles. So cool models, a nice little re-release right here with some new bases. And then last but not least, we have Osgiliath, the ruined city of Gondor. Build a battlefield worth fighting over. Osgiliath, ruined city of Gondor is a massive box of modular terrain. You get a Gondor Tower, the Gondor Mansion, and 6 Gondor Ruins, which can be arranged in almost limitless number of permutations. Alright, so a re-release of this kit, really nice models here, definitely a big fan of this terrain. Unfortunately, it's not compatible with like Fantasy or Sigmar, as it is a smaller scale, as like all of the Warhammer games are in like the heroic scale, as where this is in the typical like 28mm scale, which is substantially smaller when you put the miniatures next to them. But a cool kit nonetheless. So we've got a brand new box set, a brand new edition, lots of books to go along with it, some new plastic kits, some new resin kits. So let me know what you think of the new release for The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim, Battle of Edoras. Always like to hear back from you guys. Interested to see what kind of interest there are from the Lord of the Rings fans out there. I know for a long time people have really enjoyed the game and the mechanics, and how consistent it's been over the years with very few changes. So now with the new edition, after literally a decade plus, I'm honestly curious what the players, fans, collectors out there think, whether they're interested in this new edition, think it's going to be filled with positive changes, or they're hesitant to make the plunge. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products, and make sure to tell them that Warhammer Man sent you. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm excited for the Lord of the Rings players out there, but I will not be taking the plunge, and I'm out of here.